Hi guys, this is Alex at blackboxmycard.com. Today I'll be sharing an unboxing video of DR600 and DR650 in one video. And I'll also be making a comparison between DR550 to DR650, DR500 to the DR600. And also I had a chance to meet up with BlackVue sales managers here in Vancouver today. And I'll also be sharing my story with them towards the end of this video. But first, here I have the DR500, DR550, DR600, and DR650. So basically the DR600 will be replacing DR500, and DR650 will be replacing DR550 in North America. From today's meeting, we've also learned that the Korean market will not be receiving DR600 and DR650. They are continuing to, they're going to continue to push DR500 and DR550 to the Korean market. So let's see what the DR600 has it for us, and I'll make a comparison between, I'll tell you the difference between these two models. So let's put these units aside here. Let's start with the DR600. So the box looks fairly simple, about the same size as the previous generation, except the box was much harder on this guy. And from today's meeting, we learned that BlackVue was able to sort of cut a little bit of a cost on this box, but it still looks very, very modern and looks good. So this I have is the 16GB version. They have this Abedge International version, serial code, soft DR600. So let's open it up and have a look here. Okay. So the DR600 compared to DR500, long story short, it's quite simple. They're pretty much identical. You can probably see the difference already is the ring on this mount is now in black compared to the silver ring on the DR500. Still offers the Wi-Fi feature, GPS feature, the G-sensor, parking mode, and everything will be the same on this guy to the DR500. So let's just open up the box and have a look inside the box. Oh, interesting. Yeah, from today's meeting, they've noted that they were able to redesign this box to cut down the cost on this, which means the device will be a bit cheaper than when the DR500 was first released. So they now have a very interesting manual, and the BlackVue is being sold in pretty much everywhere now in the world, and you can see this one simple manual, which is just describing how to use the Wi-Fi. And I get this question all the time, and every single time I have to just tell my customer is the password for Wi-Fi, to access Wi-Fi, is just BlackVue. And thank goodness with the DR600, BlackVue finally included a manual that says what the password is and all that in many, many different languages. That's good, because previously BlackVue's manual wasn't all that great, and customers were having some difficulties in trying to recognize, trying to troubleshoot on their own by reading the manual, but it was extremely, extremely difficult. So now they have an English manual here. I'm going to have a look at it and see if they have actually improved things compared to the DR500 or the previous generations. So the box is quite very, very simple now. Clips, double-sided tape, and as usual you see the microSD card reader from BlackVue, and then the power cable. Yes, it is indeed very, very simple now. even this guy. Alright, so let's have a comparison between the DR500 to the DR600. Okay, let's see. Let's take this out. So if you look at our, if you look at the DR500 without the Wi-Fi model, DR500G model, basically the color of this unit is the same as the DR500G model. The GW with the Wi-Fi and the GPS has it in a little bit of a, I don't even know what kind of color this is, a lighter black color, and definitely has this silver ring finish on the mount versus the DR600. Everything is in black and it looks quite nice. It looks very nice. So size and shape same, except the color on the outer ring is different. Even the circular ring finish there, it's the same color. Actually, this is DR550, but I'll show you the DR500 here. So again, basically the same. Power cord, micro SD card slot, Wi-Fi button, all the same. SD card slot there. SD card slot right there. And as you can see, you can detach your model like this. So if you have multiple vehicles, you can buy extra mount, just stick it onto another extra vehicle, and just move your unit from one vehicle to the other. And that is totally possible. And again, DR600 does have the LED, security LED, which I really like. So I am going to show you. Let's look at this. So again, I get this question a lot. How big is this unit, basically? Because from the video or from the picture, you can't really justify it. But so I figured I started using basically backup cards, basically just normal card. Everybody has a plain card laying around, so you can see how big this unit is, or how tall this unit is. So it's a little bit over than the length of this card. So yeah, I hope this helps. Okay, so the major difference between the DR500 to the DR600 is the fact that this one offers 2.4 megapixels, whereas 2.0 megapixels on the DR500. And another thing is, this model can now take up to 64 gigabytes compared to 32 gigabytes on the DR500. And the wide angle has been dramatically reduced on the DR600 compared to the DR500, and that's something that I don't sort of understand. But if you look in my other videos, I've said anything around 135 to 145 will be the best range for the dash cam to capture license plate in a very clear manner. And DR500 came in 156 wide angle, whereas this one now offers 133 wide angle lens, diagonal wide angle lens. So I don't know what happened there, but suddenly 156 to 133. That's something I don't quite understand, but because specifically a lot of people like the DR500 because of the fact that how it is so wide and it can capture even the car coming into your fenders and whatnot. But 133 would be a little bit tight, I would say. But again, one of my favorite dash cams, CR500, and it offers 135. Close enough. And I would say the video quality, and I guess BlackVue for this one, they try to focus in capturing the license plate more than capturing more into the video, because 156 wide angle will give you some sort of a fisheye effect rather than capturing the license plate number clearly. So this one has been significantly reduced from 156 to 133. Another difference that BlackVue also noted today from the meeting is that it now offers faster Wi-Fi streaming speed. So if you were the first generation user of the DR500, which is one of the first Wi-Fi dashcam to come out with, if you have issues with streaming the video and whatnot, DR600 will be a little more faster and much more integrated with Wi-Fi from what I heard today. So I'll have a final look at the two different devices here, and then I'll move on to DR650. And this is so bizarre for BlackVue to suddenly release two different units at once. And they're going to be releasing an LCD screen device, which I'll be talking about it later. Alright, so let's look at the DR650. This model does indeed have some more difference than the DR500, DR550. So again, the box looks fairly simple, a little bit lighter, but it looks much modern. I like it. So let's have a look at the unit. Alright. Again, you can't tell the difference between the DR600 to the DR650 in terms of the main unit-wise. It weighs the same. It's the same size, same length, same color, same design, or not, except you get one more cable outlet, which is to connect your front unit to the rear unit. And that's the Wi-Fi button. For the dual channel dashcam, if you look at my very first video of the DR550, I was very skeptical about these dedicated two-channel system with the DR550, because when I was testing all these different devices, I mean, the dual channel dashcams from Korea, these dashcams were really unstable, and I wasn't a big fan of the dual channel dashcam, but the DR550 made me to change all that perspective, because it actually works. The rear dashcam and the front dashcam is very smooth, integrated very nicely, and the rear video does not crash. It crashed previously, but it wasn't as bad as the other devices that's coming out of Korea. And then BlackVue also stepped up with providing better coaxial cable for those who are actually experiencing such problem, and that everything was resolved in a good manner. So with the DR650, I think it's going to be even better. I think they probably fixed up a lot of bugs between the DR550 head, and even from the meeting today, they said that the DR650 is much more capable device than the DR550 in terms of integrating two different videos and whatnot. And so let's move on. Anyways, so clip, cable as usual, and then the coaxial cable. And I cannot emphasize enough that this cable is so much easier to install for anybody. You don't have to necessarily take it to the installer to get your dashcam installed. You can actually do it yourself, because the wire between the front unit to the rear unit is so much thinner, and that it is much easier to install. So again, the Wi-Fi, and again the Wi-Fi password is BlackVue, lowercase BlackVue. Again, the manual, I hope the manual is better than the previous devices. Alright, let's close it up. Alright, so let's compare between the DR650 to the DR550. DR550. Again, these devices, they look pretty much identical, same in size and shape. The only difference is definitely the color, and then the way how the coaxial cable is now plugged in compared to this. A little bit of a change there. The rear one, same thing. What's a little bit disappointing for me to see is the fact that BlackVue didn't go for full HD in the front and full HD in the back, unlike the BlackVue CR2000. Because I think the DR550 was the very first unit to offer full HD in the front and HD in the back, because a lot of devices, a lot of companies were pushing out HD in the front and VGA in the back, or even HD in the front and HD in the front, whereas BlackVue DR550 was the first one to jump up from that scale and offered full HD in the front and HD in the back, and the front unit was integrated with Sony Exmor CMOS sensor. With the DR650, I was hoping to see Sony Exmor CMOS sensor in the front, Sony Exmor CMOS sensor in the back, like the BlackVue CR2000, but unfortunately they didn't go full HD. They went with full HD in the front and HD in the back. But I guess the system is so perfect already, they just had to refine a little bit to make it much more reliable, and I perfectly agree. In this electronic dashcam market, having a reliable dashcam is much better than having something crazy spec'd out dashcam. But anyways, the difference is though 2.0 Sony Exmor CMOS sensor on the DR550, 2.4 Sony Exmor CMOS sensor on the DR650 for the front. DR650's rear unit, it still does not have the Sony Exmor CMOS sensor. It is just the Korean CMOS sensor, but it is capable of recording the full good HD video in the back. And another thing I want to point out in this video, in terms of the dual channel system, people ask me, is it worth it to buy two channel system, and how do I maximize my video quality for the front and rear? You can just have front unit, and if you always back in, or even for my case, when I was rear-ended last year, I only had a front dashcam running back then because I just came back from Korea last year and got into an accident, unfortunately. And even though it was a rear-ended accident, I was stopped at a red light, and my video was recording that I was stopped at a red light. I was trying to turn right, and I was waiting for the pedestrians to walk because it was a green light for them, and suddenly this car ran into me. And so even having a one dash cam, it sort of proved me in a sense that I wasn't doing anything illegal. So having one dash cam is perfectly enough, to be honest. But I have heard cases, actually my own customer, that had a cheaper Chinese dash cam that was mounted in the front of the vehicle, but the quality is terrible. And this car basically, and from the back, hit him very lightly. It was just a simple bump. And depending on how serious you are, you might not like that, even though it's a light bump. And I wouldn't like it either, because and especially if the other guy who hit you starts denying the fact that he had hit you, and he was hoping that the dashcam was able to pick up that movement, but the dashcam itself was just so terrible in quality and wasn't able to capture whether or not the car shook and whatnot. And on top of it, the damage wasn't there. It was just a little bit of a scut mark, and it was just a simple bump because the guy in the back basically lost control of brake while they were at a stop anyways. And so the damage wasn't great, but he just wasn't really happy the way that the guy who had hit him didn't simply accept it, the fact that he rolled forward and slightly bumped into my customer. And that's when he decided, you know what, I'm going to go front and back. And that was one case scenario that I cannot agree more, to have a rear dash cam that's facing the back. But one thing I want to tell you, to all my clients and all my customers, all my viewers, is that in the nighttime for the rear video, you just cannot get a perfect video because you don't have any light that's facing out towards your rear. In the nighttime, what matters is what kind of CMOS sensor that your dashcam has. Anything good, anything reliable, Sony Exmor CMOS sensor, or any approved reliable dashcam, then that's one thing. And another thing is it depends on how bright your headlight is. Basically, if you have an HID, maybe xenon light or LED, it helps a lot than conventional halogen lights. And that these two things matter a lot. And so for the front unit, as long as your unit is capable, and if your headlight is also just as capable, then you're going to be able to capture more. But for your rear light, if you think about it, you're already compromising because this is HD, but although it's downgraded HD. And in the nighttime, it can't shine anything backward to you. You're not shining anything so that it makes your way brighter for your rear side of your view, right? So you can't really, ask for crystal clear video quality for your rear video. It's just really just there for the sake of your anything in case something happens. And if you think about it, DR right now is listed something about $285 or something, $300. And if you go front and rear, that's $600. But right now this is listed for $385. So about $400, $200 less, you can get one in the front and one in the back. You do compromise a little bit on the quality, but you can still capture what's happening in the back of your vehicle. So if you're a quality person, and if the quality really matters, I would still recommend going one channel dashcam in the front and one channel dashcam in the back, because that's what many of our clients were very conscious about the video quality, and people in Korea are still doing that, although the dual channel dashcam is available now, and they are much more accurate and reliable at the end of the day. So yeah, those are two things I really wanted to point it out to you, and I almost wanted to make the video, but I'm going to make this video. It's just a whole compiled with all these information. So let's have a look at this. DR500, DR650, DR500, DR600, DR650, DR550. My honest opinion is, if you are in the market for DR500 or the DR600, I would say go with the DR500 right now, because you would probably get a better discount or a better deal, because then you don't significantly see a huge difference other than the 64 and the design. And then the 2.4, 2.0, yes and nice. 2.4 would be a higher number standing and whatnot, but if you look at our latest YouTube video, I said my favorite dashcam is DR500. We carry about 10 different products at Blackbox My Car right now, and DR500, and the history of 2 years of Blackbox My Car, is the least problem causing dashcam in the market. And I'll also link why I prefer DR500 as my favorite dashcam in 2014 of July. Just look at the description below if you want to look at the video. So if you're in the market for DR600, DR500, unless you're really into the new and all the new features and whatnot, updated ones, then go with the DR600. But if you want to get a just as capable device, reliable device, I would go with the DR500. That is what I would say for the DR500 to DR600. But for DR650 to DR550, I would say go with DR650, because for these dual channel dashcam, they're still in a very growing, and so at least for BlackVue is in a maturing stage, and the dedicated two channel system needs a lot of work. But I think with the DR650, they've improved a lot, they enhanced a lot, they threw away the bugs and whatnot. So I say anything like this, go with the latest version, later unit, just to take away all the bugs and whatnot. And again, at least with this one, they integrated Sony Exmor CMOS sensor for the front of the units, and 2.0 Sony Exmor, 2.4 megapixel Sony Exmor CMOS sensor. I haven't personally had a chance to test a 2.4 megapixel dashcam, Sony Exmor dashcam. yet, so it will be a very interesting testing that I would be doing. But I would say at least between the DR550 to DR650, go with the DR650, because from today's meeting I've learned that they've improved a lot on DR650. Oh, and again, DR600 and DR650, faster Wi-Fi speed if the Wi-Fi was a little laggy and buggy, for those who have been experiencing that. And then the fact that for the dual channel system, 32 is enough for the single channel, but for dual channel I would say go with the 64, because you're right, you're recording full HD in the front and HD in the back, and if you're recording even the parking mode videos, these are huge videos that's going to be taking up a lot of spaces. And so personally I would recommend getting 64 for the dual channel dashcam, and 32 would be plenty for the DR600 and the DR500. So let's see, any size comparison here. Again, same as the DR500. The small unit takes about this much, and it's about this tall. So I hope this can give you some better representation of how big this unit is. And so I wanted to also close up here today with the meeting that I had with BlackVue. Last year I went to Korea to see all the different Korean dashcam companies, but this year BlackVue came to visit me in Vancouver. We had a very nice meeting on the top of the Grouse Mountain for literally over 3 hours, and learned a lot about the dashcam culture in the worldwide and in Korea and whatnot, and any newer direction that they are trying to go. Basically, they're at a stage where their devices are in some the name is out there, so they're trying to make their devices much more reliable, much more affordable, and so more and more people can use these devices. And they're going to be releasing a LCD screen dashcam, which is a very anticipated device in Korea. Many Korean dashcams need LCD screen in order to be popular in Korea. And from what I heard, the Korean dashcam market literally exploded in the last couple months. It was already big, but it just became huge. And that it will be a very interesting journey for a lot of dashcam companies in Korea, because there are just too many dashcams that are being used, that are being bought already, and that not many companies will survive till the end of this year, according to BlackVue. So from next year we'll be seeing some interesting devices between different companies, and some companies may go away, some companies will step up even to a higher level. The dual channel dashcam with the LCD screen is called DR750, and it's going to offer Wi-Fi, although it has an LCD screen. I don't even have a full spec on this device, because what BlackVue likes to do is they want to push out all these devices at once, globally, basically. So as soon as they're ready to be shipped out, they sell it all over the world to the retailers and distributors. So I don't actually even have a poster that's actually made ready for the DR650 and the DR600. So that's why I'm making this video a bit longer than ever in my YouTube channel there. And I will have to follow up with YouTube guides on these two devices, because I don't think they're gonna be providing us with materials just yet. They're just so busy packing and sending out these devices. But more and more marketing materials will be arriving, and we will be carrying this device very shortly. We actually do have them, we just have to post them up If you want to purchase them, you can go click on the link below. And if you have any questions, you can just simply email me at info@blackboxmycar.com or visit our website at blackboxmycar.com. Subscribe to our channel for more dashcam videos. I will be making a lot of videos about the DR600 and then the DR650, because these two devices are quite interesting, because I just can't wait to see how good this device is compared to the DR500. Although I'd recommend going with the DR500 because it's so much reliable. I hope these devices are all reliable and just can perform in an excellent manner. So yeah, I think that's about it for today, and thank you for watching. It was a rather long video, but again, if you have any questions, you can email me, and expect more videos with these two devices. Thank you for watching.